Hey everyone, Hawk Starwing here. Welcome back to the channel. I really do appreciate everybody giving me the support, just watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, everything. I really do appreciate it. So if you watched yesterday's video, we talked about some of the news that's happened in the Star Wars world. And we covered extensively the new Star Wars movie. New things have come out on that movie, and I also did an additional report there where we talked about 3 movies being announced soon. So that has everyone in speculation. So let's talk about it. Hey everyone, Hawk Starwin here. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate everybody's support. So on my last video, we talked about the new development on the Star Wars movies. We covered how we had a writer. We are unfortunately no longer attached with the new Star Wars movie on 2025. Now we have a new writer coming in. So very interesting. But I think the thing I want to touch base on with everyone, that recent announcement that was made back on March 24th as well, which is 3 new Star Wars movies will be announced on Star Wars Celebration starting on April 7th. If I can give everyone my honest thoughts, I think this is a terrible idea. I believe the rumors around on the internet as of late is that all 3 movies are going to be sequel based, meaning that we are going to follow up on the stories that was set forth on the sequel trilogy, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but they are going to move forward with that. So recent reports today came out that of these 3 announcements, of these 3 movies that are coming out, we're all gonna see what happens after Rise of Skywalker, which, if I can be honest, not everybody on the internet is totally on board on this part. And if I can give you, once again, my thoughts on this, I don't think anyone is really looking forward to seeing what happens after Rise of Skywalker. There is fans out there for this sequel trilogy. Of course, people will definitely love it, but there's a big majority of people that really don't like them either. So focusing on seeing what happens here, while interesting just to see the story progress and move forward, really puts a lot of doubt on Lucasfilm if they're even able to do this. If I can be honest with you, everything we've gotten from Lucasfilm since Book of Boba Fett onwards has been very hit or miss. And it's more miss than hit as of late. If we look at all the projects that we've had, starting from the Book of Boba Fett, we had the Book of Boba Dud. Honestly, it's a story of Boba Fett where Boba Fett's not really like as important. Let's put Mando in there. Let's steal 2 episodes of the show from Boba Fett so we can focus back on Mando. Which at this point, Grogu came back into the story and had a lot of people up in this point watching this season totally confused on why is Grogu back with the Mandalorian. Then on top of that, if we follow that up, the Book of Boba Fett, the next thing that we got was, well, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. The Obi-Wan show really was a total letdown, and I feel that would have been a home run for them if they were able to do that properly, and I cannot believe that we did not hit a home run with that one. That one would have been such an easy story to adapt, and yet we took the highs and lows of Obi-Wan being on Tatooine, and yeesh, it really wasn't that good. Following that, we did receive the Andor show. I can't talk about it. I haven't seen it. People say it's good, but then again, I haven't seen it. I have hopes for the show. I believe it's wrapping up with this next season, which is going to be season 2. Let's see. Hopefully, it resolves very nicely and leaves us with something a little bit more desirable. But if I can go back to this new movies, some of the subjects now discussing that's going to be around sequel characters or what happens after the sequels, I think it's a major misstep for Lucasfilm. You can definitely see the major disconnect between the studio and what the fans want to see. I think they're kind of forgetting the point of Star Wars. The point of Star Wars is about an escapism. This is a story about space wizards following destiny, overcoming evil, having the good side triumph over the bad. And the Star Wars shows of late have kind of forgotten that. We've trailed away from what Star Wars was supposed to be into this other narrative. I feel like we start focusing Star Wars back to what made us fans. It's a little bit more of a mystical story. Let's get lightsabers in there. Let's get a battle between good and evil. Because as of late, it just doesn't feel that way. It feels like a lot of good character development for sure. where's the mysticism? Where's the good versus bad? We're seeing good versus bad, but the good is kind of highlighted in gray, which sure works for modern sensitivities and all that, but I don't think it's necessary what Star Wars needs right now. In all honesty, I think what Star Wars really just needs is to go back to the wall. Let's focus once again on what made Star Wars great again. Let's put some of these ideas back on the back burner. Let's work them a little bit and let's get them out there when we have them in a better place. People have been talking online, particularly today, where they've been discussing how they feel like we are gonna get new Star Wars movies for sure, and we're particularly gonna get one in 2025. But aren't we in the same boat that we were back when Rise of Skywalker came out? We are doing this mad dash and we're trying to get this movie out, but we're not really paying close attention to not just the story, but the care that the story needs to make people engage and make people want to see it. I think they're just putting content out there for content's sake. And if recent speculation is true, Lucasfilm CEO Kathleen Kennedy, who is extremely divisive online, is really clamoring to get this movie back on schedule and get this movie up and running by 2025, basically so she can keep her job. Now, if this movie is solely being produced or solely being created just for this one individual to keep her job, I think we're not going to end up in a good place. Here's hoping they're able to figure this out, that they're able to come up with a good plan, not just for the next Star Wars movie that's coming out in 2025, but all three movies are going to be announced starting on April 7th. And here's hoping that we're able to get good, cohesive stories, that we're able to see what made us fans of Star Wars to begin with. Again, like I said in my video yesterday, if we focus more on what made Star Wars great, I think that's where we move forward. Again, I feel like a good starting point would have been to kind of like make a movie from the Mandoverse and just continuing telling that tale on the bigger screen. I think more people recognize the characters now, especially since we're on season 3. We've had those characters also in the Book of Boba Fett. Just having people vested in these characters and this ongoing story that's still not complete would have been a great idea. Not just the hardcore Star Wars fans, but the general public at large. We've created a bond with these characters and we really are vested and interested in seeing where they're going. So focusing on them on a bigger screen, I think would have definitely made them print money. But alas, that's not the case. We're going to focus on the sequels once again, which are, again, extremely divisive when it comes to the Star Wars fans online. I don't know. Maybe they do have a solid plan and maybe it's going to work out. I'm really hoping that it definitely does. Not for Lucasfilm's sake, but for our sake as well. I think us as fans were getting tired of being treated the way we have been treated. And then on top of that, we've been given subpar projects, subpar storytelling. Hopefully we can get Star Wars back on track and definitely have a good cohesive story that we can start focusing on and hopefully get everyone excited on Star Wars once again. And that's about it for me. What do you think? Go ahead and leave them in a comment down below. I'm always interested in reading you guys' comments. But once again, thank you everybody for liking. Thanks everybody for commenting, for subscribing. And we'll definitely talk later. Take care.